Should we just start? Okay. Good morning, everyone. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second annual NHSDLC THIS Beijing Regional Debate Tournament.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Angel Song, and this is my partner, Raymond Zhang. We are both seniors from Tsinghua International School and are delighted to have everyone here this weekend.
Yeah.
We have debaters joining us from 35 different schools all around China, as well as teams who have traveled from Mongolia and Indonesia.
大家早上好，欢迎来到第二届北京地区THIS NHSDLC 北京地区辩论赛。我是今天的开幕式司仪张宝瑞，这是我的搭档宋天然。很高兴来自各地的辩手能参加本周末的比赛。
Before we begin, though, please sit back and take a deep breath and enjoy this opening performance brought to you by Tsinghua International School's traditional dance club.
在辩论之前，让我们先欣赏一下由清华附中国际部传统舞蹈社团带来的开幕表演。
Now, wasn't that an amazing performance you'll never see at any other debate tournament? Yeah. We hope you enjoyed it. Moving on, let's welcome the Vice Principal of THIS, Principal Lee, to give us an opening speech.
相信大家不会在任何其他的辩论赛欣赏到这么如此精彩的开幕表演。下面让我们有请清华附中国际部副校长李文平女士致辞。
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the second annual NHSDLC THS Debate Tournament. Welcome to Tsinghua International School. Hi, Tsinghua THS students, can you join me to give us, our visitors, a warm welcome? Today we get together thanks to the hard work of amazing students. Thanks to the NHSDLC and many teachers and admins who have helped to put this together. The tournament today was completely organized by our students in our school with the planning beginning in May. I have to say it is our students' amazing work that makes that happen. Celine and Tianyi, two of our students, came to me several times to confirm lots of details to make sure everything runs smoothly. Even late last night, they were still here, busy with preparations work for today. I was talking to another principal of our school, Ms. Kalabasara, the other day, and we both feel so proud of their leadership skills, their team spirit, and strong sense of responsibility. With over 280 debaters from all across China, Asia, from Indonesia to Korea, Mongolia, 50 professional, well-trained judges, diligent volunteers, I believe that this tournament is one of our THIS greatest achievements. On behalf of THIS, I really appreciate the efforts from all of you, judges and teachers sacrificing their weekend, and without the participation of debaters, this cannot happen. So let's give all of you another warm round of applause. Yeah. And 50% of all proceeds of this tournament will be donated to a local charity that helps orphans who are in need. Tsinghua International School fosters creative critical thinkers who are rooted in China and prepared to lead in the global community. So we value students' English and Chinese language skills and try hard to make them master two native languages. We also have lots of Chinese debate lovers, and even some students debate in both languages. And we'll host a Chinese debate tournament next spring, so we sincerely invite all of you to come to THS next year. Thank you for joining us, and hope you have a great experience at THS today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Principal Lee, for your speech. Now, let us welcome the League President of NHSDLC, Mr. David Weeks.
感谢李校长的致辞。现在有请 NHSDLC 的主席 Mr. David Weeks 上台致辞。
Good morning, debaters, and welcome to the fall 2018 Beijing Regional Tournament of the National High School Debate League of China, hosted in partnership with Tsinghua International School. It's really a pleasure, and I'm humbled and honored to see so many enthusiastic debaters here today. This tournament is special on a couple of levels. So last year, when we hosted the tournament at THIS, we had a similar number of students, about 250. This year we have about 275. However, I think it's different on a couple of levels. First, we have international participants from Mongolia and Indonesia joining us. Second, we have over 35 schools represented. Some of them are just across the street. Some of them are in places as far away as Shanghai, Yinchuan, Shenyang. Really tier 2, tier 3, tier 1 cities. Everyone here is pretty well represented, I'd say. Another thing that I think is pretty extraordinary about this tournament is the breakdown of the tournament. So we're not just one enormous debate tournament, we're actually 3 micro tournaments happening at the same time. So we have about 37 teams in the high school division, about 40 teams in the international high school division, and as well as over 60 teams, I believe, in the middle school division. So I think that that's pretty interesting and actually really special because this is the first time where a middle school division has been larger than any high school division at an NHSDLC tournament. Of course, because high school is split between international and the traditional division, perhaps that accounts for the distinction there. But I think that says something about the growth of middle school debate. So, it used to be, when we first ran this tournament 6 years ago, 2012, pretty much the only people who did debate were grade 10 students. Grade 9 was too busy taking Zhongkao or just didn't really think about doing debate at the time. Grade 10 and 11, or excuse me, grade 12 and 11 were too busy taking standardized tests and preparing for the next stage of their academic careers, applying for university and things like that. It's really a pleasure for me for us to have witnessed debate becoming sort of an academic career for a lot of students now. So we now have students who are as young as in 5th grade who start doing debate and continue doing it until 12th grade. That's how it works in a lot of other countries. That's certainly how it works in the US, Canada, and the UK. It's wonderful to see and witness the evolution of a debate community in China and to witness people who really, and to sort of see the evolution of students who really identify as debaters. So I think that's really exciting. Another thing that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention is that it's a big tournament. It's pretty competitive. I'm sure you'll find that your opponents are pretty strong. However, we do have a good number of novice debaters here as well. So, novice debaters, if this is your first debate tournament, or maybe it's your first debate tournament in a long time and you're feeling a little rusty, that's okay. Remember that after round 2, so for rounds 2 and round 3, rounds will be power paired, so you'll be debating against students with similar records to you. Also, remember that we come to debate not because we like trophies, we like winning, sure, but the most important thing about debate is learning and making friends. I think those two things are the things that I really remember as a debater when I debated. I graduated high school in 2006, so I'm really old, right? I think that the things that's really stuck with me, the things that I really cherish about debate even now, are the friends and the connections that I built, the things that I learned, the sort of intellectual and academic interests that debate helped cultivate for me. So I encourage you guys to think about this tournament not in terms of wins and losses necessarily, but in terms of the connections you build, the friendships that you make, and the things that you learn. Because those are the things that 10 years from now you'll remember. Next, I'd also like to remind you guys that this isn't just a single tournament that exists in isolation, right? There are many tournaments that we run in different cities across China. Right now, actually, we're running tournaments in Shenzhen, in Shenyang, and in several other cities in China. There's one weekend where DLC is actually running 5 tournaments in 5 different cities at the same time. So I'd encourage you guys, if you had fun here, or if you feel like you're interested in continuing to debate, or if you feel like you could have done better and want another chance, there's always another regional tournament. We have tournaments going on until December 15th. We also have a spring season. We'll have our tournament here in Beijing in April at Dulwich College, Beijing. So that's also another opportunity for you guys to get better at debate. If we could have the next slide. So there is also one other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about really briefly, which is that when we first started this debate league in 2012, we ultimately wanted to prepare students not just to have a competitive ecosystem to do debate inside of China, but we also wanted to connect students from around East Asia with the opportunity to compete in international tournaments, particularly in the United States. We're really lucky that the Lunar New Year and the winter holidays take place during Chinese Spring Festival, or rather our Chinese Spring Festival holiday takes place during the Stanford and Harvard debate invitationals in the United States. THIS has attended this tournament as well, and we've been bringing students to the Stanford and Harvard tournaments since 2013. Last year, we were the champions of the Stanford Invitational's International Public Forum Division. 2 years ago, we had a team from Shanghai who won both the Stanford and the Harvard tournaments, which is the first time in history that any team outside of the United States has ever done that. I think that's pretty extraordinary, and I think that says something about the quality of debate in China and ultimately how committed you guys are to this activity. If you guys are interested in competing internationally or attending winter workshops where you can rapidly improve your debate skills, I'd encourage you guys to let us know. If you want to learn a little bit more about what we're up to over the winter, maybe see if you are able to attend a workshop, feel free to scan the QR code and just register your interest, and we can email you a quick list of the eligibility requirements for the Stanford and Harvard tournaments, as well as winter and summer workshops that happen in China. It's always been a pleasure over the last 6 years to connect students with great debate training resources and ultimately allow you guys to take home debate expertise and debate knowledge back to your school so that you can teach your juniors, teach students who are younger than you how to debate well. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank all of the people who are basically not in this room. So first, I'd like to thank the judges and the volunteers. We have over 40 judges and about as many volunteers who are giving up their weekends to be there. Also, I know that some of your parents aren't here, but most of your teachers are. So students, I always tell you this at every tournament. If you've been to a DLC tournament where I've been here before, you've heard this, but I'll tell it again, I'll say it again, which is that if you see your parents or if you see your coach next to you, if you see them this weekend, please tell them thank you for supporting your ability to compete in debate. It doesn't matter if they just dropped you off at the tournament and paid your registration fee, or if they're with you round in and round out, giving you coaching and giving you advice. I think you should tell them thank you, because ultimately I know you guys are busy, you guys have tests, you guys have things you could be doing, everyone could be home playing Flappy Bird on the couch, but your parents could also be doing the same, and they work and have other obligations throughout the week as well. And so please tell them thank you at some point this weekend. I'd also like to thank our host school at Tsinghua International School for their generous support, not only giving us the facilities, but really making this a whole school activity. We host tournaments in over 33 cities around China, and THIS, I think this tournament is unique in that you have a number of different student organizations that get involved. I think this is the highest participation from a host school that we've had all year. So thank you, THIS, for having us at your school, but also bringing us in and working together with us as partners in this event, and ultimately getting your charity organizations, your performance organizations, and student leadership involved as well. We couldn't have done it without you. Lastly, I'd like to thank our debaters for being here and joining us. I know that you guys are busy, and I wish you guys the best of luck at this tournament and in future tournaments. So in closing, I'd like to say, 加油, good luck.
Thank you, David. We hope we can continue working with NHSDLC next year and make this tournament even better.
下面让我们有请本次比赛的办协生北京图书教育咨询有限公司的大学本科咨询副总裁白一涵上台致辞。
Now let's welcome the Vice President of the College Counseling Team, John Beck, from Due West, the sponsor of this tournament.
Good morning, everyone. Do a little bit better, especially from this part of the room over here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Awesome, that was great. Thank you so much. So my name is John Beck. I'm the Vice President of College Counseling at Due West Education, an education counseling company based here in Beijing. And it is a pleasure to be with you all this morning. Due West has actually been sponsoring NHSDLC debate tournaments since 2013. So we've been involved in a lot of these. And I really appreciate David's comments about how much this organization has grown. What we have seen over the years is just an incredible increase in the sophistication of debaters, of your arguments, and of the topics themselves. 6 years ago, I don't think when I got to China, I've been here 6 years, I would have imagined being part of a debate tournament where students from all over Asia are debating about the criminal justice system in the United States. And that really speaks to, again, I think the sophistication, but also just the responsibility that students across China are realizing that you have in the future of, not just for yourselves, but really the future of the world. And that really is something that THIS has been involved in for a long time as well. And so, David mentioned he graduated high school in 2006. I graduated high school in 2005, and so as a much older and even wiser person, I'd like to offer just a little bit of additional advice too. To you as you go through your debates today. And really, my advice is going to be pretty simple, is to think about throughout this weekend, but really over the next several years, and when you go to college and beyond, is to really think about the resources that you have available to you to help you achieve your goals. And so one of the resources that you'll have is the THIS team who's here this weekend. So I wanted to just give everybody from THIS a quick chance to introduce themselves. I will reintroduce myself and then have you guys go and maybe just go to the front of the stage and kind of shout out, because I think this auditorium has pretty good acoustics and people can hear us. Just line up. But again, I'm John. I'm a graduate of Dartmouth College. I studied international relations, environmental studies, and French. I was also an admission officer there for 3 years before coming out to China. And I'd be happy to talk to you guys about, a variety of things. But let's just have down the line from John on down, this is the THIS counseling team who's here today. We'd love to get to know you guys.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan. I'm actually maybe a little bit straight because I'm from Scotland. I did my undergraduate at the University of Edinburgh, and then I did my master's degree at the University of Chicago. So I'm really excited to go today to learn more about your results on this discussion that we're going to have today. So thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Diana. I'm from Boston in the U.S. I did my undergraduate at Colby College, and I was studying English and theater. And then I went to Boston College and got my master's in more English and theater. But so I'm really excited to meet all of you today. And I'm also new to Beijing, so I'm taking any restaurant recommendations. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Jude. I'm from West North New Jersey. I study at Boston College, study psychology and Chinese. This is my second time really Beijing, so I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys a little bit better and helping out with arguments. Learning more from you guys.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve. I grew up in Seattle. I studied Asian studies and geography at the University of Washington when I got my bachelor's. And then I went to UCLA and I got my master's and PhD studying geography. And it's good for me to be back in China. I was born here. I grew up in the U.S., but looking forward to starting a new chapter here and getting to know you guys over the next couple of days and to just learn more about you and what you guys are about. So I'll talk to you guys soon.
Morning, everyone. For you in the back, I'm not sure if you can hear everyone else, but I have a loud voice, so hopefully you can hear me as well. My name is Will. I'm from Missouri originally, a small town outside of St. Louis. You probably have no idea where that's at, so don't worry. I graduated from the University of Vermont, where I studied international relations and Asian studies. I lived in China off and on for 4 years since I first came to high school for a year. I went to Beijing, so I studied Chinese for a very long time. I'm happy to talk with you a little about anything you'd like to. Looking forward to speaking with you all.
Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Tanya, and I'm the Director of College Counseling at THIS. So I'm a graduate from Amherst College, which is in Amherst, Massachusetts, a couple hours from Boston. And I graduated in pre-med, so pre-medical requirements, as well as I was an African Studies major. After that, I was an admission officer for Amherst for 3 years. And it's so wonderful to see you all here today, because I know as an admission officer, and John and I were admission officers, we know that as debaters, you guys, when you apply to college in the U.S., you will have extra credentials. We know that you will have the intellectual stamina, the curiosity, the ability to debate different topics, and these are things that admission officers around the U.S. are looking for. These are qualities that you are developing that will make you really good applicants for college. So good luck this weekend, have a wonderful time, and we're looking forward to really helping you.
Thanks, guys. And so, again, we at THIS, we're invested in your success, guys, both this weekend and long term. I will want to just point out, many of you were coming in and it was a little bit rushed, but our team was shoving these into your hands, these topic briefs. This is full of information that you can use to shore up your arguments on the pro and con side over the next couple of days. It was actually Diana who put this whole thing together, so thank you, Diana. And so come see us for help with the topic. Come see us for talking about your longer term goals as well. We've worked with students all over China, all over Asia, actually around the world, helping them achieve their goals of getting into top colleges and universities in the US as well. Before I conclude, I do want to thank NHSDLC for allowing us to sponsor this great tournament again, Tsinghua International School for being so far a great host. We're looking forward to spending the weekend here. Good luck, everyone. Have fun, make friends, and we'll see you between rounds.
Again, thank you, THIS. Now, for one of the most important speeches today, please welcome the THIS Student Council President.
Oh wait, that's me! Hi everyone, my name is Raymond Zhang. I'm a senior here at Tsinghua International School, and I'm also the president of Student Council. So I want to welcome you guys and just say a few words that we're extremely proud and honored to host this event. I remember when I came here 6 years ago, we didn't even have this auditorium ready. We didn't even have the building that you guys are debating in ready. So it really shows how far we've come as a school, and we're super happy that you guys are here. And you know, a lot of students have sacrificed their weekends to be here, to volunteer and serve you guys. The teachers are here as judges, who've also given up their weekends. The student council, prom committee, community service club. As you guys just saw, the traditional dance club had an amazing performance. That's not going to be the only performance you guys see though this weekend. Just a little teaser for you guys. Okay, so. We're super happy and super, excited to host this event, and just enjoy debating. And we hope that we provide a wonderful time for you guys out beyond debating as well. Thank you. Now, as an MC, I'd like to introduce this Vice President of the Community Service Club, Ms. Talia Yun.
下面我们有请志愿者协会的副总裁 Talia Yun 上台演讲。
Hi. I was going to start with good morning, but I think we have enough of that. So, hello everybody, I'm Talia Yun, and I'm not a debater per se, but I am an active member of the Tsinghua International School family. I'm also the Vice President of Community Service Club, as you probably just heard. And so I'm here to speak on the behalf of both CSE and debate. And more specifically, I'm here to speak about the foundation that we are donating over 50% of our profits to, and that's Roundabout. So it all started about a decade ago, and a woman named Leslie Simpson, after 3 years of volunteering in a foster home, found that the system in which donations were distributed or discarded, depending on the quality or necessity, was sort of insufficient. Volunteers had been scarce at the time, and they still are scarce now. And they simply couldn't pour manpower into a job that was so labor-intensive and yet proportionately unrewarding. So Leslie established a social enterprise that, instead of depositing mounds of donations on the doorsteps of charity organizations, would directly pass donations on to the people in need, hence minimizing the amount of strenuous tasks the charities would have to perform. It would also sell the donations to raise funds, the proceeds gathered to pay for the medical costs of orphan children or others in need, the housing for elderly, warm blankets, food, and other necessities that people may need. 5 years after the birth of Roundabout, Leslie and her family left China and passed on her legacy to Becky Wong and Mary Kate Brown. Now, Roundabout is all the things I mentioned before and more. It's a source of information on volunteering and donating that anyone can gain access to. It's a bridge between donors and those in need. It is a donation and distribution center. It is a fundraising retail store. Most of all, it's a group of individuals striving to make a difference in the lives of those who are in need. The elderly, orphan children, poor families, mentally or physically challenged people, and women from disadvantaged backgrounds. As debaters, as volunteers, and as somebody who has come to make this tournament become a reality, you sit, or stand here, today as proud contributors to a cause that very well may have saved a human life. So we thank you, judges and visitors and THI students, for coming today and participating in something that is beneficial not only to us, but to those who need as much help as they can get. Thank you.
A few more. Oops. Thank you, Tyler. Now, just a few more announcements about today's events before the pairings are released. The auditorium will be off limits until everyone finishes the round 4 debates. You can come back at the break announcements at around 7 o'clock. So meanwhile, all debaters can wait on the first and second floor of the cafeteria between rounds, which is located right underneath this auditorium. And debates in the middle school, and debaters in the middle school division will be on the second floor. Debaters in the high school and AGD division are on the first floor. So follow the volunteers and look at the signs that will show you the way. And cafeteria lunch will also be provided in the same area. And if you have purchased lunch tickets for pizza, they will be served at the entrance of the school building at 12:55.
在公布对垒表之前，还有几个非常重要的事项需要你们留意一下。在第4场辩论赛结束之前，选手们是不允许进入这个礼堂的，只有在晚上7点左右公布晋级名单的时候才可以回到这里。不再辩论的选手们，请在礼堂楼下的餐厅1楼、2楼层休息室等待。初中组的选手们在2层，高中组和 AGD 在1层。请大家务必跟着墙上贴好的指示牌，或者来找本校的志愿者们。食堂的午餐会在同一个餐厅提供。购买了披萨中午午餐的票的选手们，请在用餐时间去礼堂后面附近去取餐。谢谢。
Without further ado, let's release the pairings and get ready for the first round of debate. Don't forget that there will be refreshments sold at the entrance of the debate building, and always feel free to ask any volunteers wearing the blue shirt if you don't know where to go. Now, let's hand over the stage to the NHSDLC League Executive Director, Mr. Liam Mathers.
接下来就让我们公布第1轮的辩论赛对阵吧。别忘了，在辩论赛楼的门口有卖各种各样的小零食，可以大家去吃。迷路的话，就找我们穿着蓝色衣服的志愿者问路就行了。好，现在有请 NHSDLC 联赛执行总监 Mr. Liam Mathers。
Morning, everyone. Really excited to be here with all of you today. Before I announce the round 1 pairings, I actually have a few more announcements. So please bear with me. These announcements relate to the conduct of the tournament, what you as debaters need to know. So if I could have the next slide, please. The first thing that you need to know is about pairings. If you've debated with us before, you know that in every round we have an A group and a B group. The round will last 2 hours long in total. Teams in A group debate in the first hour of the round, while teams in B group debate in the second hour of the round. So when I show the pairings here in a moment, on the left side of the screen in blue, you will see the teams in Group A. On the right side of the screen in yellow, you'll see the teams in Group B. This will change every single round, and it is entirely random. So in round 1, you might be in Group A. In round 2, you might be in Group B, and so forth. The group you are assigned to does not reflect how well you are doing in the competition. So the teams that lose round 1 are not assigned to Group B in round 2. That's not how it works. It's entirely random, so don't worry if you're in Group A and then Group B or whatever. But please, please, please keep this in mind. This was just announced by our MCs, but regarding pairing announcements. For middle schoolers, the pairing announcement will happen in the cafeteria on the 2nd floor of this building. And for high schoolers, it will happen, high schoolers in both the high school and AGD division, the announcements will happen on the 1st floor. So please wait in those rooms when you are not debating. We have a rule at the tournament that if you are 15 minutes late or more for your round, you will forfeit that round. So please, please, please keep on time. Especially of a tournament this big, it is very important that everyone goes to their debate rooms on time, that all debates start on time. We cannot begin the next round before all of the debates in the current round are finished and we collect those ballots. So please be on time. It is essential for the entire tournament to run well. Okay, this is an important announcement. Everyone got bags when they checked in this morning. On those bags, you will see a 6-digit number, as well as a 3-digit number. So if everyone could take out their bags right now. The NHSDLC bags, those beautiful white and blue bags. If you haven't debated with us before, this is incredibly, incredibly important. To make the tournament impartial, judges do not know what school you are from. They do not know your names. The tournament software that will be generating pairings each round does not know who exactly you are. You are given a number to make you anonymous. Each student in the tournament has a 3-digit number. Each student in the tournament has a 3-digit number. And each team in the tournament has a 6-digit team number, which is comprised of your individual 3-digit code plus your partner's individual 3-digit code. So on the bag, everyone will have a 6-digit code. That is your team. When I post the pairings in a moment, you will only see these 6-digit codes. So find the code that corresponds with you and go to that room. You will also see the 3-digit code, which corresponds to your individual speaker code. If you guys have questions about this later on in the day, please do not hesitate to ask. We will only be identifying you for the entire tournament until the award ceremony by these codes. The second thing that I'd ask really quickly, actually, yeah, we can go to the next slide. Starting the debate. When I show the pairings in every round, I will not tell you who is on pro, who is on con, who is speaking first, who is speaking second. That is decided by a coin toss, which happens in the room before the debate begins. So the judge will flip a coin. The team that wins the coin toss gets to make one of 2 decisions. They may decide to speak pro or speak con. Or they may choose speaking order in the debate, to speak first or to speak second. The team that loses the coin toss gets to make the remaining decision. So for example, the team that wins the coin toss really likes the con case. Love the con case, tough on crime. So they choose con. That means the team that loses the coin toss by default is pro. But the pro team now gets to choose, do we speak first or do we speak second? My advice to all of you guys before the tournament begins is twofold. First of all, decide right now what your preference is. Don't make the decision like that in the room when you found that you've won the coin toss and you and your partner are looking at each other like, what should we pick? Decide now, save your mental energy for the debate itself. My second piece of advice is that it is always strategic to speak second. So, if you lose the coin toss and your opponents choose pro or con, you should always choose to speak second. You probably already feel that way because it gives you a bit more time to get ready, but it is strategic. And the corollary of this advice, this piece of advice, is that if you like pro and con equally, then you should choose to speak second when you win the coin toss. So that's the coin toss. Now, after the coin toss decides who's pro, who's con, who speaks first, who speaks second, the judge will fill out the ballot. The judge will have a sheet of paper which records your team and speaker information, and it is on this sheet of paper that the judge will record the outcome of the debate. It is your responsibility as students to check that the judge has entered the ballot information correctly. It can be a little confusing with these 6-digit codes with the coin toss for the judge to write the information correctly. So you guys must initial the ballot, sign the ballot before the debate starts. Make sure that the judge has written your team code on the right side of the debate. That if you're speaking second on the pro, the judge has written this on the ballot correctly. It's very important. It's very, very important. So please initial the ballot before the debate starts. The judges know to do this, but if they forget, please, before your first speech, ask the judge, may I initial the ballot? All right, next slide, please. So some information about results and awards. At this tournament, the top 16 teams in both the AGD division and the high school division will be advancing to the octo-final rounds tomorrow. As David mentioned, the middle school division is larger. And so in the middle school division, the top 32 teams will advance to a double octo-final on Sunday. In all three divisions, you need approximately 3 wins today to advance. 3 wins. That should be your goal if you're trying to advance. There will be a few cases on the margins depending on how the day's debates play out. So it's possible that one team with 3 wins does not advance. It's also possible that one team or 2 teams with 2 wins advances. It depends on how the day's debates play out, but approximately you will need 3 wins to advance to tomorrow's debates. From the octo-final onwards tomorrow, there will be a panel of 3 judges in every room. But in today's debates and in the middle school double octo-final, there will be 1 judge making the decision. This decision will be written on the ballot, posted online at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to see the results and judge feedback from every round you do today. Next slide, please. Now, if you advance to tomorrow, you will receive an award. The champion and top speaker of each division will also be receiving a special edition NHSDLC water bottle. So hopefully some of you will be able to take these home to class on Monday. Next slide, please. And if you advance to tomorrow, you will qualify for our national championship in the summer. David spoke about the camps, but right now, let's get the first round's pairing. All right, round 1. So these will be shown in succession, starting with middle school, then high school, then AGD. Please go to your rooms immediately if you are in round A, Group A. If you're in Group B, please go to your room at 9:45. If you're in Group B, please go to your rooms at 9:45.